How about it? I'm Kevin Bowen, Chris Presley. Thank you to everybody. I know we've been waiting a long, long time. I think back to, about 18 months ago, we were planning an event at a separate location, not as beautiful as Bullseye Event Center, but we were planning one, and to finally see everybody in person, we're super, super happy about that. Thank you to Bullseye Event Center, obviously, for the venue, the food and the drink, an awesome prize pack we're going to give away a little bit later tonight. Colts VIP tailgate tickets, 2 tickets to every single home game. So if you didn't get your raffle tickets, check in up there. For some reason you came in a different entrance, check in up there to get those. And then 2 tickets in the lower level, 100 level, to the Seattle Seahawks game on Sunday afternoon. So thank you first and foremost to everybody being here and the Bullseye Event Group.
Yeah, and let's give a round of applause for Kevin Bowen. That's what we're here to see, right? We're here to see Kevin. He's too humble to, notice that, but let's give it up for Kevin.
So tonight, thank you for that, Chris. We got Brendan King right here in the middle. You guys have heard him on the Fan Morning Show a lot over the past few weeks. BK is going to be kind of moderating our questions. As always, you guys have been here before. You know how we roll. We just want you to scream out questions. We might not hear you, but Brendan will be in the middle, kind of field everything, so our people via the stream over here can hear the questions. If you guys want to interject at any point, raise your hand, whatever, and feel free to ask away. We got Jimmy Cook, man in the chat. He puts up with Dan Dockich every day from noon to 3, so I think he'll be at the bar a lot tonight, probably. So thank you to Jimmy for coming out as well, and for all of our behind-the-scenes people and event people, thank you to them as well. But without further ado, we're also Colts Pro Shop gift cards.
We do. For Family Feud, we're going to have $40 Pro Shop gift cards for all 5 of the answers, on top of, obviously, the big prize at the end of the night.
And the only people that can win those gift cards are people in the building. So if you are here tonight, Family Feud, to cap things off, 5 questions. I think they're all relatively easy-ish. And raise your hand. We'll try to make it as orderly as possible. It'll be better than trying to monitor the YouTube chat, which I know can be a disaster trying to see who sent in first. So some great prizes to go along with, hopefully some fun content as well.
Quickly, I want to let you know, Kevin, if you guys have been a follower of the podcast for a long time or watched the live stream, you might have heard of a guy named Cheeks. Cheeks is not going to be able to be here tonight, but he wanted to say good luck to you.
Yes, I appreciate that, Cheeks. Thank you to Quinn for filming and John as well for getting the stream up. We've never done the stream and in person at the same time, so a lot of logistics going on here, so thanks, guys, for being patient and for dealing with the downtown and beautiful Guns N' Roses traffic as well.
So, Kevin, we're going to get to a lot of things as we go into the season. First thing we're going to get into is preseason takeaways. We'll talk about the rosters, camp battles, then we'll go to the depth chart, over-unders, which is always fun, especially with the betting apps that are with us here. BetMGM?
Yes, BetMGM, shout out. Thank you for that. Appreciate
You're welcome. Season predictions, and then Family Feud. So let's start with preseason takeaways. The Carson Wentz lack of work.
Yeah, obviously it's the biggest storyline come out of the preseason. I added up how many throws he was supposed to have in camp in the preseason. He ended up having 8% of that work. And I know it's a lot of nerdy numbers, but basically he was supposed to throw over 300-some passes. He threw 24. So that's the biggest storyline for me. I do think, and I've said this to a few people here over the course of the night, when you watch Carson Wentz play quarterback in practice, I'm a bit wowed by it, to be frank. It's Andrew Luck-like, his talent. There's a lot that's got to be reined in. There's been some interceptions that I know of, a lot of people have talked about in 7-on-7. But the natural, raw talent, it just is a reminder to me of, that dude at that size can make throws inside and outside of the pocket that, frankly, not a lot of quarterbacks can make. And, I was talking to a table over there earlier. Phillip Rivers was drafted top 5, top 10, wherever he was drafted for here. Carson Wentz was drafted number 2 overall for here and all that. I mean, his God-given ability athletically is really Andrew Luck-like. Now, again, reining all that in, how that's going to look is going to be key, because a big storyline we've talked about on the podcast, Chris, is he hasn't seen a lot of 11-on-11 against the starters. He wants to see more DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard, Kenny Moore. Instead, he's seeing, frankly, a lot of you and I mean, obviously better than that, but you know what I'm saying. He's seen a lot of talent that just isn't at that peak level, and that's the unfortunate situation with his injury, and then obviously being in close contact last week.
obviously we want to get through some of this too quick, so I'm not going to derail from questions that people might want to ask. What does it say to you that he's already been named a captain? Do you think you're obviously going to be named a captain as a quarterback for an NFL team?
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of debate about Carson Wentz as a leader and the whole vaccination thing and whatnot. I think if you put that to the side, I think he's done every single thing you would want out of a quarterback right now. I mean, before the trade became official, he's flying to California working out with Michael Pittman. T.Y. Hilton's a free agent. He's texting T.Y. Hilton acting like they've been teammates for 10 years, and he wants him back. I think they're going to wherever, Traders Point, high schools around there. Like, he's doing everything you want. Obviously, if he misses a game or two, we'll see how that plays out. But to me, I wasn't surprised. I don't know if you guys saw today, 6 captains named: Wentz, T.Y. Hilton, Quentin Nelson, Darius Leonard, DeForest Buckner, Zaire Franklin on special teams. I thought maybe Kenny Moore. That was the one name I thought could have been a captain. But I still think Kenny means a lot to this team.
Real quick before we get to topic 2, if you look up at the screens, you'll also be able to see the chat from the YouTube. We always have interesting chats.
Is that a PG-13 chat? I mean,
there's a lot. Actually, there's a lot of people in this room right now, Sean, that say a lot of things on these boards here. So we're good.
Hopefully
we're good. All right, let's go to the next section. Is Quitty Pay the answer?
Yeah, this to me is probably the most important non-Carson Wentz takeaway from camp. Quitty Pay was on any short list of the best player in Grand Park. The fact that he did it in the joint practices, the fact that he did it against Minnesota and Detroit in the preseason. When we talk about and I've said this before about how you raise the ceiling on this season, I think the ceiling at quarterback and pass rusher has been raised. The question is how close do you get to that ceiling? Quitty Pay showed me a whole lot. I thought it'd be a lot of power rush. He showed a lot of speed. Obviously, he's going to see Dwayne Brown in that building on Sunday afternoon, and that's varsity ball. That's not JV ball, as I channel my inner Rick Venturi there. But that's going to be a huge step in competition. But Quitty Pay, to me, if there's a thing that I think should make Colts fans the most excited leaving Grand Park, it was the Quitty Pay that we saw during training camp.
All right, for the next topic, it's a little bit awkward because
this is awkward.
This is what happens, and everyone who listens to the podcast knows. Right when we put something together, it always gets backtracked a little bit. Healthy Paris Campbell and Kamoko Ture injury report came out today. What do you have to say about that?
Hey, they both practiced a little bit. Limited for both those guys. If you guys haven't seen the injury report right now. Paris Campbell, Achilles injury. When I hear a fast player has an Achilles injury, that worries me. Something certainly to monitor, because I don't know if Paris Campbell missed a practice at Grand Park due to injury. And he hasn't done that in his career. So that is encouraging. Kamoko Ture, groin injury on the injury report today. I mean, these two players, Chris, again, both were limited. I think both will play on Sunday. But when you talk about this season and where it can go, these two players are super unique to the rest of their position group, their unit, all of those things. So, hey, Rosie Bo. Both of them.
Here we go. We got a guest.
Both of them, I think, are so important to. I'll say this: if Paris Campbell can move as fast as Rosie,
we're good.
Yeah, the Colts got a chance to make a deep January run here. But think back to the opener last year. I know everyone wants to forget that game because the Colts lost the Jags. Paris Campbell played the most of any wideout on the team that game. Paris Campbell had 6 catches for 80-some yards. Critical third downs. Who's Phillip Rivers looking to? It's Paris Campbell. If healthy, Frank Reich is obsessed with Paris Campbell. And I think you could make the argument, if healthy, which is a different question, Chris, but if Paris Campbell's healthy for the entire season and Michael Pittman's healthy for the entire season, Paris Campbell might have more targets. He might have bigger usage. Now, again, the if healthy part is a different debate, but the fact that those two were pretty healthy through camp, I think is a good sign. Of course, we'll see how it plays out.
We got anything over there, Jimmy, in the chat?
Dabney Offerman wanted to know, with 3 more practice days to go, how far behind the 8 ball are Colts starters all practicing together as a whole unit?
With 3 more practice days to go, how far behind the 8 ball are the Colts starters all practicing together?
I asked Frank Reich on Monday or Wednesday. All the days kind of run together. I guess today is Wednesday. It was Monday. will you incorporate Carson Wentz into starting defense reps? Like, will you let him face the starting defense? Because once you get to Wednesday of a game week, you go against Seattle's scout team in practice. And he was like, funny you asked that. Carson asked for more of the starting reps. And that, to your point and to the question, thank you, Jimmy, is he's not going to get the valuable ones versus one starting action. And that's my biggest worry for the first 5 games. We saw Phillip Rivers struggle last season. No team in the NFL has had Carson Wentz's number more than the team that'll be in that building on Sunday afternoon. Now, granted, the personnel changes and the Legion of Boom looks different. Jamal Adams is a really good football player. They've obviously added him. Ken Norton, their defensive coordinator, has been there for a few years. But that, I just think, is the rust we've talked about, Chris, on the podcast of it's an unknown. And we saw rust with Phillip Rivers last year without preseason games, but we saw rust in the first 5 games, and that was the easiest schedule in the NFL. How does Carson handle that with one of the toughest stretches you're ever going to see to start a season?
Right. All right, the last one for the camp preseason takeaways, the new stars emerging.
Let's hit the left tackle really, really quick. Third time the charm at left tackle.
Oh, sorry,
there.
third time's the charm, left tackle.
Yeah, the Colts have an answer at left tackle. It's the third guy they wanted to be the left tackle. We just got to acknowledge that. Tried Sam Tebby, tried Will Holden. They looked as good as me. Finally, Julian Davenport goes in there after he tested positive for COVID at the start of camp. And Davenport has been, I think, adequate. I don't want to go any further than that. Seattle's got a lot of young, unproven, but a lot of talented pass rushers. And I think they're going to test Julian Davenport. And then now, we'll get into it a little bit later, but Quinn Nelson's on the injury report with a back injury. What's his availability for Sunday? So it's such a big question mark, because if you've got to help out Davenport a lot early on, what does that do to your skill talent? I will say this, Eric Fisher's going to be back a lot earlier than anybody thought. I expect Eric Fisher to play. I think he's got a chance to play against the Rams. I don't think he plays against the Seahawks, but I think he's got a chance to play against the Rams. And when that signing happened, you would ask any Colts fan, they would have signed up for that 100%.
Yep.
And honestly, you would ask the Colts internally, they would have signed up for that 100%.
All right, well, now let's get to the one that I got to earlier.
Well, obviously, it's stars.
New stars emerging.
Jonathan Taylor's a stud. Jonathan Taylor is one of the best running backs in the NFL, bar none. I am buying a Jonathan Taylor MVP ticket. I know MVPs don't happen at running back, but I just think Jonathan Taylor's that good of a football player behind this offensive line. Other stars, maybe not in all caps, Bobby Okereke, Kenny Moore. I thought really good camps for them. Different stars. Obviously, Okereke stepping up into a big role, and I just think Kenny Moore, I just think he defines everything that you want, frankly, in a football player. In that position, the nickel means so much to this defense as well. So exiting camp, I know BK and I did our all-camp teams. We had all 3 of those guys on our all-camp teams.
Any questions more, Jimmy, or should we move on to the 53?
Anybody here as well? Any questions? Shout them out. Raise your hand. Anything? We'll keep it moving.
All right. 53-man roster offensive outlook. Let's start with the quarterbacks. Obviously, the 2 that we're going to see there is Carson Wentz and Jacob Eason. But let's not forget Brent Hundley is on the practice squad, as is Ellinger. What do we see there?
Yeah, shout out to Brett Hundley on the practice squad, protected on the practice squad. I think that probably has to do with your quarterback being uncertain week to week. Sam Ellinger on IR to start the year. Jacob Eason's your backup. I thought he had a nice camp.
Speaks for itself.
That's about all we're going to say there at quarterback.
Running backs, Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, Marlon Mack, Jordan Wilkins, no surprise there, really.
Nope, no surprise there whatsoever. We'll get into the depth chart a little bit later, because I think it looks different than maybe how we have these names here.
Wide receivers, especially now with the Paris Campbell injury, do you see someone else sliding in if he can't go on Sunday, and who that might be?
Yeah, Kiki Kuti is the guy on the practice squad. First off, he's got a great name.
He does.
Second off, he's healthy, which is a big question for him in his career. He's practiced lately. I think he could be a guy. If Campbell's iffy, if you just frankly want a proven wideout. I know a lot of people will ask about Mike Strawn. I think when you get in the red zone Sunday in Seattle, Mike Strawn needs to be on the football field. It's a team that's struggled in the red zone the past years. I'm not playing Mike Strawn 50 snaps, but I'm playing him 20-ish, and I'm getting him in the red zone, and I'm throwing him a 50-50 ball. Chris will hate it, but shout out to Notre Dame. Great win on Sunday night by the Irish.
I don't hate it.
Making sure that they held on there. how did Notre Dame win that game? How did they make plays? Couple 50-50 balls in the red zone. Like, frankly, when you get in a confined short area, you find your big targets, and you go make a play. That's what Strong can give this team.
Tight ends, obviously hometown man, Jack Doyle, Moelle Cox, Kylan Granson. You've spoke to Kylan Granson. Hopefully we have him on the podcast in a couple weeks if we can. Nothing new to see here either.
No, great personality, Kylan Granson. He's going to play. I don't think it's going to be a massive role, but he's going to play it for you. And then obviously, Old Faithful, Jack Doyle. That name might come up a little later in the show.
And then the offensive line. Anything shock you here? I know we picked up Pryor. Fries is staying on the team, but we have a lot of depth here at offensive line.
You know, the fact that Eric Fisher's name's on that list. I mean, this is the 53-man roster, Chris. Eric Fisher's on that list. The fact that he's off the COVID list and didn't go to injured reserve, I think is a great sign, again, for him playing it in September.
All right, let's jump to defense, starting with defensive line. There's going to be a lot of talk about the ends. There's going to be some talk about defensive tackles, but for the most part, this is what most of the Colts fans thought this roster would look like.
Yeah, and it's still a big number. I mean, they cut Antoine Woods earlier in the week. They've got 10 defensive linemen. Why? Chris Ballard's nervous about guys getting hurt early in the season. He loves to rotate bodies up front. We know how Chris Ballard rolls. You know, as much as he loves his children, he loves depth in the trenches, I think, equally. So that's why you're seeing the amount of to me, that's too many defensive linemen. But for Chris Ballard, he believes in having depth up front. Several of these guys will be inactive on Sunday, but they're going to rotate in a lot of these names, and that's why he decided to keep them all.
With you feeling like the defensive line doesn't or has too much depth, do you feel like the linebacking core has less depth?
Not by quantity, but by quality. You know, a lot of, I think there's a couple of people here that have asked me before, Darius Leonard, Bobby Okereke, you know, like, what if they get hurt? You know, if they get hurt, you need to be over in that line like a lot. I mean, it's not good. You know, those two guys are so critical to playing this defense at a very high level. So depth would be a concern with the linebackers right now.
Let's jump over to safeties. Julian Blackman, Kari Willis, George Odom. Not much of a surprise there, but what are we thinking about the depth there?
Let's throw TJ Carey's name onto that list. You know, he's a cornerback by nature, but he's kind of if someone gets hurt back there, I think he goes in. So I put TJ Carey sliding over at that safety position as well.
How you feeling about the cornerbacks, especially with Marvell Tell back this year, adding a couple more? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't feel great about the cornerback depth at all. It's the biggest worry for Chris Ballard. He's nervous about the cornerback depth. The bottom two names on that list are two names that he claimed on waiver cut downs, so clearly he doesn't like it. Xavier Rhodes hurt today in practice, Chris. I got to watch it. You know, calf injury. You talk about Sunday against DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson. If you don't have Xavier Rhodes out there for every snap, Rock Ya-Sin's playing every snap. And I know how a lot of people think about Rock Ya-Sin. And then TJ Carey's been banged up. And you've got, like, to me, do you put Isaiah Rodgers out there? Do you put him on, you know, Tyler Lockett, one of those things, and say speed for speed, try to keep up with them in that situation? I think that is something that's maybe not the craziest thought in the world, but Rhodes is a guy that I think he's got a little Lance Stevenson to him, Chris.
Yep.
He gets hurt a lot, and then he hears the crowd start to go like that, and he kind of goes back in the game. So maybe it's one of those things, but that's an injury that I'm watching because you look at the wideouts you play the first 3 weeks of the season, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Julio Jones, A.J. Brown. You don't have Xavier Rhodes. Shit. I mean, hopefully they can bleep that out on the stream, but that's not good. That's not good.
Before we jump to specialists, let's send it over to Brendan King with a question from the audience.
What's up, boys? Scott just came up wondering, Andre Sachare got cut by the Colts, picked up by the Eagles, Jonathan Gannon, the defensive coordinator there. Should the Colts have cut an extra defensive lineman and then in turn kept Sachare?
Who was that? Who asked it?
Scott.
Yeah, Scott. Great question. Yes. Yeah, in my opinion, yes. I would have maybe even cut Will Fries on the offensive line. I know you're a little, unsure about what you've got on the O-line right now. But yes, I would have kept Sachare, like Scott mentioned. He's claimed by the Eagles for a reason. That coaching staff knows his versatility there.
Question from Sam. Sam, you want to ask Brendan?
Sam's wondering if you think that TJ Carey is going to have more snaps at safety or corner this year.
Yeah, we're going to get into camp position battles, so I might save that for a little bit, Sam. But in short, I think it's corner. The only safety snaps I see are if Blackman or Wills get hurt. I want to see a third safety on the field, but I also understand Eberflus saying I don't want to take one of those linebackers off the field. So he's so committed to a four-man rush group up front. But I just would like to see a little bit more creativity in personnel, but I'm going to hold off on that full answer until we get going a little bit.
All right, let's jump to specialists. Rodrigo Blankenship, Rigoberto Sanchez, and Luke Rhodes. Not many surprises there, but we will talk about a kicker battle later.
Shout out to Hot Rod. I know people love him. I mean, look at that picture. How do you not love the guy? Seriously, the dude didn't miss. He didn't miss, Chris. Like, he had a guy in camp that made every kick, and Rodrigo Blankenship said, I'm going to go shoot, 64 on Sunday of a PGA Tour event for our few golf fans in the audience. Like, he went and had the lead and kind of took it. And I do notice a little more leg. I don't know, BK and other people that are at practice, I noticed a little bit more leg out of Hot Rod as well.
All right, we're going to do something we've done on the last couple podcasts or last couple live streams. Before we get into the next one, it's Beers with Bowen, right? So we might as well cheers, everybody. Let's take a couple drinks, especially if you're out there in the live stream. That's better.
Mac, you got a drink? Mac's locked in on the phone over there.
All right, let's go to camp battles. The first one, running back reps.
Yeah, this is Jonathan Taylor's backfield. I don't want to see a whole lot of rotation, to be frank. Now, I can say that and have Naeem Hines come on the field with Jonathan Taylor on the field, but if you guys walk out of Lucas Oil Stadium Sunday and Jonathan Taylor doesn't touch the ball 20-some times, that's a problem. Like, you traded up for a running back in the second round. There hasn't been a running back as decorated as Jonathan Taylor to come out of college football in years. Give him the football. I've got Jordan Wilkins ahead of Marlon Mack, though.
Yep. Filling the wide out.
This is flavor of the month. What do you want? Do you want the big guy in Mike Strawn? Do you want the proven guy in Kiki Kuti? The wide out depth. It's all kind of what you want. Ashton Doolin, I think, will dress as well. But again, I'm not taking Campbell, Pittman, Pascal. I'm not taking them off the field a whole lot.
All right, now we're going to go to a pretty good topic in terms of offensive line depth. You mentioned earlier today with the injury report, you got Quentin Nelson on the injury report right now. Eric Fisher obviously practicing for the first couple of times. What do you see there? I know we have depth, but...
Yeah, I know Nelson missed a back injury. He missed a few practices last year due to a back injury. The dude's had 3 surgeries since last year. I don't know, we haven't talked a lot about that, but 3 surgeries for a 330-pound man, that, I don't want to just turn my head at that. So I assume Quentin Nelson will play on Sunday, but, Chris, the back injury flared up last year. It's flaring up again. It's just a concern. Chris Reed, the backup, comes from Carolina.
Yep.
Much more experience. I think your swing tackle week 1 will be the big fella from Philly you just traded for, Matt Pryor. And then, obviously, when Eric Fisher comes back, you'll go that route.
Next topic, starting defensive ends. And this is one that a lot of people, I think, between either in the audience or especially with you, Jimmy, might have questions about.
Yeah, Quitty Pay is your starter, and Al-Qadim Muhammad's your other starter. Tyquan Lewis is going to rotate in a whole lot, but Al-Qadim Muhammad's your other starter. And then when you get to the pass downs, everybody says the NASCAR package. We got to call it the IndyCar package. It's Kaboko Terry on the field, and I think it's Tyquan Lewis sliding inside, Grover Stewart coming off the field.
Next one, and you touched on this a little bit earlier, talking about Xavier Rhodes, the third cornerback, especially right now with that calf injury.
It's Rock Yassin by default. I think that's where we're at right now. So, yeah, I will say Rock Yassin by default. I love that picture.
Last one we got here is Rigobert or Rodrigo Blankenship. You gotta love specs. Any questions?
No, 0 questions whatsoever. Hot Rod deserves this battle, and easily won it because he made every kick. When the incumbent makes every kick, he deserves to be the winner.
How are we looking over there, Jimmy?
You got anything question-wise?
Go for it.
Scream it.
Question was, why do we only protect 3 players and we can protect 4, correct?
So Travis asked about practice squad and protecting players. The Colts protected 3, as Travis mentioned, because of COVID. Brett Hundley at quarterback, Joey Hunt at center, Sean Davis at safety. My guess with that is it's all COVID related. Wentz unvaccinated, Ryan Kelly unvaccinated, and I don't know 100%. I don't think Corey Willis is, but again, don't quote me on that. Granted, I just said it on YouTube. Is it 4? I thought it was 3. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe later in the week they'll add somebody else, but yeah, that is maybe Kiki QT is the other one. Travis, I know your information. Let me check on that.
All right, we're going to jump to Brendan King again for a question from the audience.
All right, so I wasn't aware of this until Brent just told me, but Pat McAfee is smacking the anvil on Sunday, and when Pat McAfee does so, the Colts are 3-0.
Whoa!
So
Pat
sabermetrics,
McAfee anvil?
sabermetrics. I mean, is that a dub?
You know what? Pat McAfee might be a Ring of Honor bound. If you win a season opener,
One's going in there.
If you win a season opener, Pat McAfee could go in the Ring of Honor. Honestly, after that, so that's good. Honestly, I can't wait.
Thank Brent for that.
I cannot wait. Who had that? Your name? Yeah, it's on the show this week. No. Brent. Thank you, Brent, for that. Great info there. I can't wait for the crowd on Sunday. You know, I've said this before, and I've been fortunate to be in a lot of road venues, been in Seattle. The Lucas Oil crowd, it's not the most raucous in the NFL, but after just watching college football this past weekend, I cannot wait to see and hear 65,000 again for, frankly, a team that I think should have a lot of hype behind it. You know, we'll get into the win-loss a little bit later, but the fact that you get 2 home games to start the year, I'm glad Colts Nation gets that, and I can't wait for Sunday at 1.
All right, we're going to call an audible here, and we're going to jump to trivia.
Okay.
So with the trivia...
Two questions.
Two questions.
2 of the 5.
2 of the 5.
Oh boy, the question's already up. All right. Which position kept the fewest amount of Colts players, and how many did they keep? Hands up. Travis. No. Anybody else? Matt. Non-specialist. We have one here. Kirk.
We got
linebacker. No, right here.
Right here.
Quarterback. Your name. Garrett. Can you name him, Garrett? Oh, shh.
Come on. Winston Eason. Garrett's got it.
Garrett, come on down. Heston, do we got the gift card?
Heston's right behind. Heston's right
there. My bad. Shout out to Garrett right there.
Good job, Garrett.
Wait. Again, we're going to give away 5 of these tonight. I can barely see you. The sun is just, I feel it. We're going to give away 5. We've got 3 more to go after this. So we'll do one more question right here. Again, we need hand raised. Heston's got the eyes out there to be watching. And question number 2, Nick.
Who is the longest tenured player on the Colts 53-man roster?
Ari. No.
Uh-oh. It got real quiet.
Wait. I kind of missed it. Go ahead, Chris. Who you got?
I was going here
Couch?
first. Yes.
Kenny Moore, no. Right here.
Jack
Shout out
Doyle.
to the east side of Indianapolis right there. Your name? Chris.
Great name.
Chris.
Great name.
Fitting.
We're just Christ bearers, you know?
Ari, that was kind of sneaky there. We said 53-man roster. T.Y. Hilton currently on injured reserve. Jack Doyle, 2013.
Yeah, see, Kevin likes to do this, not me.
And what is this graphic? What is that?
You're like Mario.
Mario? I prefer Luigi, yeah.
Can you actually grow that mustache? If you wanted to?
Yeah.
I mean, just keep it going, man.
I don't think Maddie would like
Is Maddie
that.
here? Maddie, can he grow this mustache? Is that good?
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as I'm keeping this for a little while. All right, we'll get back to trivia a little bit later, but let's get back into whatever's next. I kind of forget.
We're going to go to depth chart.
Depth chart?
All right, so with the depth chart, what we're going to do is show you what they currently have them slated as, both starters, backups, third strings, etc. We'll start with the offensive line.
I just drank your beer.
Did you?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
We're going to bullpen. Heston, I need another beer.
Yeah. This is mine. All right. Depth chart. Who we got?
Depth
Offense?
chart. Offense, obviously Eric Fisher, Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, Mark Glowinski, and Braden Smith to start. Anything up here? I don't think anything really surprises most of us Colts fans, do it?
And again, Chris, this is the official Colts depth chart.
Right.
I would have Jordan Wilkins in the game above Marlon Mack. That would be my one gripe there. Whiteout, obviously, it's not like Campbell comes off the field. Mike Strong goes on the field. You're going to rotate wideouts there. But besides that, nothing too shocking to me. Obviously, Julian Davenport, I expect to start week 1. Those backups, it depends on who's healthy. If Danny Pinter's healthy, he'll be out there a little bit longer. But, yeah, nothing too crazy on the offense.
You think if Davenport starts, Pryor slides over and is left tackle backup?
Yeah, Matt Pryor would be my backup at tackle, and then probably Chris Reed on the interior.
Okay.
But Danny Pinter was back to practice today, so the Ball State kid, shout out to Colleen Bowen, alma mater, chirp, chirp. He would be the guy as well.
Okay. Now let's jump to the defensive side. Base personnel, you say Zaire Franklin will be the third backup because E.J. Speed is back from injury. Obviously, you guys can read all this analysis on 1075thefan.com under Kevin's Corners blogs, but that's what you're thinking right now?
Yeah, I mean, this is what you got. Zaire Franklin against the run-heavy teams. You guys have heard me talk about E.J. Speed, unbelievable athlete, but, you don't really have 3 linebackers on the field against pass-happy teams, so I don't really see where he fits in necessarily there. And then the debate we had earlier, the TJ Carey debate, Rock Ya-Sin won that by default. And I know that sounds harsh, but he did. TJ Carey got hurt. It was TJ Carey's job, and then all of a sudden he got hurt. At the defensive line, again, Al-Qadim Muhammad's going to start. Tyquan Lewis will rotate in. And then when you get to those third downs, we talked about it. Lewis to the interior, Kamoko Terry on the field. A lot of people will ask, how much will Ben Banigou play? They rotate their defensive linemen a whole lot. So I do think Banigou will rotate in throughout a game.
Yeah, because you mentioned that Rock's going to come in on the nickel package.
Right. Rock Ya-Sin is your third cornerback. So if you all need a drink to that, feel free to drink. But, yeah, he's your third cornerback right now.
Speaking of which, KB, a lot of concern on the chat. People need to be talked off the ledge on Rock Ya-Sin. Getting a lot of playing time when Xavier Rhodes is out on Sunday.
Yeah, Jimmy says people need to be talked off the ledge about Rock Ya-Sin if he's playing on Sunday. Brendan and I had this conversation a lot at camp. I wish the Colts would throw more flags at training camp. I think Rock Ya-Sin gets away with a lot in Grand Park. And frankly, I just think he gets the regular season and he knows that thinks he can get away with that. And late last season, we saw quarterbacks target Rock Ya-Sin. We saw referees target him. That is a worry when you start this year. So, Jimmy, I can't calm those fears. I think if you're Russell Wilson, Shane Waldron, their new OC in Seattle, if Rock Ya-Sin's playing 90-some% of the snaps, why wouldn't you target him? And, I think they're going to go out of their way to try and get DK Metcalf on Rock. So, do the Colts try to stay in more base personnel? I don't know.
And it was disappointing, KB, that the second day of that joint practice against Carolina, Rock had a great day against DJ Moore on day number 1. Then day number 2 came.
Ooh. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
Just completely
family.
flipped.
Yeah. It was ugly. And look at the preseason game. Minnesota game, him against Adam Thielen on that third down rep out of the slot. He has a great pass breakup. You go the next week, Detroit, and he looked like, again, he just, he didn't even he didn't have his mouth guard in, letting up that touchdown.
You said a Bishop Sycamore guy could have covered that better.
Yeah, again, he looked like Bishop Sycamore. Garrett, what do you got? Signing him?
Garrett wants to know what you think about Richard Sherman and signing him.
Garrett, I'm not usually I'm a little bit hesitant on that, but yeah, he could. Yeah, he definitely could. I like playing the young guys. I do, but I mean, if DK Metcalf has 130 and Tyler Lockett goes for 110, that's going to sound pretty stupid. So, yes, I hear you out. I was always a fan in March of bringing back Rhodes plus a mid-level corner, and that didn't happen. And I feel like Chris Ballard kind of regrets that. I mean, he said it to me, everybody, like corner's an issue. So I don't know what Sherman wants because he's not starting in your base defense, and he shouldn't start. Kenny Moore and Xavier Rhodes need to start. So that might be an issue there, but I usually laugh off a lot of big veteran those talks. I don't laugh that off after seeing the corner play. I was disappointed by Marvell Tell in camp as well. I thought he'd have a big camp, and he did not. Well, Travis is our cap expert here at Bullseye Event Center, so thank you for that. In all seriousness, he's right. I mean, I know Ryan Kelly got restructured a little bit, but I mean, what do you got? Is it 9, 7? Yeah, 7 million. Yeah, I mean, Richard Sherman strikes me as a guy that's not coming here to, you can come to your family come to the Colts VIP tailgate. It's awesome. Richard Sherman should be happy if his family gets that, but I don't think he's coming here just for that. Maybe.
Let's jump to the special teams. And again, nothing here that really shocks people. Let's talk about the kick return, punt return.
I mean, one of the most dynamic duos in the league. Seriously. I mean, we watched Isaiah Rodgers in that Cleveland game last year take it to the house. Nyheim Hines, I believe, led the league in punt return. He was close to leading the league in punt return. So that duo touched the ball a whole lot and let him go.
All right, one of the favorites, and obviously you with BetMGM, everyone loves over-unders. Let's talk about some over-unders for the season that Kevin has picked out. First one, over and under 8.5 wins.
Can we get a crowd reaction? Over, under.
Over it is.
I mean, if it's not over, we got issues. I saw that line in Vegas. I did. I saw that line last week. I need to look up where, but I've seen 9. I don't know if anyone's seen different over-unders. It seems like 9 is kind of the average.
You didn't jump on it?
I don't condone betting the mortgage, but I think it's got to be over.
You have so much family in Indy, you could move in with them for a little while. It'll be okay.
We do. Maddie, we definitely
Come stay at the frat house.
Huh?
Come stay at the frat house.
Exactly.
You got the Butler frat house.
Golden Oak will come in. It'll be great.
Over under Carson Wentz passing yards, 3,850.
Got to go under.
Kevin's going under.
You know, it's Carson has kind of hovered around this number throughout his career. I mean, the guy's got 7 injuries since 2016, and as much as I hate talking about it, the vaccination issue is dangling there. Like, that worries me. I don't think it's majorly under, to be honest with you, Chris, but I think it's just slightly under. And look, the Colts can be a very good football team with Carson Wentz throwing for 3,600 yards. This number does not need to be over. If it's over, it frankly probably means that Jonathan Taylor's gotten hurt. And that's DEFCON to me. I know you got great depth at running back, but Jonathan Taylor's a different breed. So, I'm going under.
Yeah, and today's injuries might have helped that under as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Jonathan Taylor rushing yards, 1,275.
I mean, we got to hammer the over.
Hammer
the over here. I am a big believer in Taylor. He had like 1,100 last year. He missed the game. He got benched twice.
Didn't have a training camp.
Didn't have a training camp. Didn't have a preseason. Or had a training camp. Didn't have a preseason. This is a over for sure to me.
All right, the linebacker captain Darius Leonard tackles 152.5.
Yeah.
We got unders out there.
I'm going to go under there. Leonard always seems to get hurt for like a game or two. And one thing I want to see from Leonard, they handed him what? 100 million, 90 million, whatever it was. You need him, and I've said this before, you need him to be dirty. You need him to get his head in there in the run game and not just be the ball hawk. His ball production, incredible. Last year it dipped. He needs to be more in the run game. When you're playing Tennessee twice a year, when you're playing Baltimore, when Cleveland is a team that I think Cleveland is, crazy as it sounds, I think they might be the most balanced team in the AFC. And I know that might be crazy to a lot of people, but I really like what they have on both sides of the ball. Slightly under due to little injury.
All right, the last one we have, Quitty Pay, 6.5 sacks, over or under?
Yeah, I don't think the fans are going to like this. Barely under. Barely under. I don't think people realize how much 6.5 sacks is, Chris. Like, it's a good amount for a rookie. So I'm going to go barely under just because I think he's going to see more of the upper echelon tackles in that mode there. Nick, can we hit 2 more trivia? We're going to hit 2 more trivia. Any questions out there before we get to 2 more trivia? Yell it.
Michael Pittman, over under 850.
850?
850.
Yeah. 1,025. I'm high. I'm high. I'm buying stock in Pittman. I'm buying stock in Taylor.
Okay.
Pittman, after the catch, he's no USC pretty boy. I mean, he is. He's going to get targets. He's not like 6'4", 225, and you throw him a bunch of jump balls. I'd like to see a few more jump balls. You and I have talked about that.
Yep.
But he's a very well-rounded wideout. In that playoff game with Tre'Davious White on him, he got 10 targets. That's a big, big number. With T.Y. banged up, over.
Any others?
And your name? James, thank you. Appreciate that. Go ahead, BK. Say that question. I don't know if we all heard it.
Carson Wentz getting the ball to tight ends at an efficient level.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Ertz. They drafted Dallas Goedert pretty high in Philly. Who was the guy? What was the old tight end they had? I forget in Philly. But anyways, yeah, I think they'll be involved. Nothing crazy. I'm not drafting them in fantasy if that's what you're asking me, but I think you can all of a sudden wake up and Mo Alley Cox is 4 for 65 and a touchdown on Sunday, and it wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world. So I think you definitely sprinkle them in, but I think they'll rotate a lot of them. You know, Doyle's play time, he had a big wild card game, Doyle, but that play time really decreased late in the season. So, you know, I know Brendan and I watched Kylan Granson. He was active a good amount, but I don't think you've got a clear-cut one there. I think you got a lot of guys you like, and Wentz, I think, you know, one of the things about Wentz, he is a tremendous seam passer down the middle of the field. That is one of his strengths. I'd like to see Doyle, Alley Cox, Granson behind a linebacker, and if you get sucked in, Jamal Adams is sheeting up on Sunday afternoon like he does. You stick it in Taylor's belly, and boom, there's Alley Cox, and Lord knows nobody in this building wants to tackle him in the open field.
2 quick ones. Joe let us know that it's Brent Selleck was that other.
Selleck, that's what I was thinking of.
Joe in the YouTube chat, and also, are you going to send out any parlays on Fridays on your morning show?
Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm looking around for Mark Dykton like he's in the building. He's got 3 girls under the age of 4. Yes, we will be sending out betting Colts 2.5 on Sunday. Is that right? Plus 2.5?
That I don't know. Is that what it is? Yeah. 2.5.
Okay. We're going to have to get to that.
Jimmy has drafted the Colts defense in his fantasy league. Ooh. He's wondering if they may be top 10 in the league.
Okay. I think it's a pretty safe play. You know, I'm a big, and I suck at fantasy football, full transparency. So
you didn't even draft in our MS league.
I know. I got, you know, I was bonding with my family. I'm a big, like, matchup. Who's the quarterback? I care more about the opposing quarterback. Like, I'll start anybody on defense if your quarterback's, you know, Scott Tolzien. So, having said that, I think from a starting standpoint, if the Colts are healthy on defense, I do think they're one of the top 10 units. Now, you start to get into depth, and I worry a little bit about that group. By the way, how about DeForest Buckner today just being like, oh yeah, I had an MCP joint injury and played with one hand last year? Club. 9.5 sacks, 26 quarterback hits, and he had a club on his right hand the whole season.
Worth the money, right?
DeForest Buckner right now, NFL Defensive Player of the Year odds, I looked it up the other day. Where do you think he is on that list? No, just like number, like 1 to wherever. Obviously, Aaron Donald's 1. Like, where do you think Buckner is?
14th.
23rd.
And you thought I was disrespecting him.
Like, I know defensive tackles don't get a lot of attention. Obviously, the one we'll see in here a week from Sunday gets a whole lot. But, like, if he played with one hand and just had 9.5 sacks and 26 quarterback hits and missed the game?
Let's jump to some more Family Feud from Brent Selleck, who we mentioned earlier, to Kevin Selleck, since you look like Tom Selleck here with your mustache.
All right. Whoa. That's the answer.
You can't give him the answer.
All right. I hope no one saw that. It was a complicated answer.
Paris Campbell changed his number.
Whoa.
What's going on?
Oh. It says answer, but it's the question. All right. Go ahead and ask it.
Paris Campbell changed his number to number 1 this year. What was his number last year and when he also played at the Ohio State University?
Who do you think? Heston, go ahead. Woo-hoo-hoo!
There we go.
Who we got? Who is that? Ask him a name.
What's your name?
What's your name, sir?
Blaze.
Blaze, I love it, Blaze. That was nice. Are you an Ohio State fan? Yeah, you do know your Colts. I always thought Campbell had good-looking numbers. 21, that's a fresh number there. 1, I think it's a good number. So, nice work, Blaze. All right, one more, and then we'll jump back into wherever our season schedule.
Season
right?
schedule. One more. How many players on the Colts roster attended college in the state of Indiana?
Right here. No.
Nope.
Right here. Hilton. Is that Hilton? 1. No.
Nope. Yep.
Name them. You got to name them. Come on now. You can't just say
Oh, yeah,
number.
you can't just guess numbers.
These are diehard Colts fans. You got to name them, people. Right here. One more time.
Yes. No. You were very close.
This third one's tough. Right here. Who do you say?
Nope.
No. Folks, just pull out the roster on your phone. I mean, shit.
The people.
It's a layup. One more.
People in the chat are getting it, so just look up at the screen. Correct.
Your name, Kevin? Isaac. Okay. Quentin Nelson, Notre Dame. It's an open book test.
Good job, Boris.
People in the chat
job,
are eventually
Dylan.
going to tell you. Quentin Nelson, Notre Dame. Danny Penter, Ball State. Isaac Rochelle was kind of the tough one. Notre Dame.
We told you. Look behind you. We got it.
Got it. All right, let's go back into the old season. Are we on season picks, Nick?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Season predictions. Some of them we'll elaborate a little bit more on. Some of them we'll kind of just brush through. Game 1 against Seattle. Kevin, you have them?
Yeah, I got a loss. Sorry, I got a loss on Sunday. Feel free to boo. I will accept that. Chris Presley, Russell Wilson in the Eastern Time Zone is 12-1 in his career. I believe he's thrown 1 interception in those 13 games. We talk so much about the West Coast team in the Eastern Time. Russell, I don't know if him and Sierra are on a different clock, but like the dude just gets it done. I don't like the injury to Rhodes. I don't like that. Yeah, left.
That was kind of like some baseball sabermetrics there.
I know,
12
it's
and
super
1,
nerdy, but I'm sorry. Sam, what do you got?
Wilson and Seattle are 13-2 at 1 p.m. on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Last 5 years. I don't know how you knew that, but
Since Russell Wilson was drafted 2012, no team in the league is better in the Eastern Time Zone than the Seattle Seahawks.
All right. Are we going to bounce back the next week against the Rams?
Yes, it's a win. Beat the Rams. And I've got the Rams in the Super Bowl.
I'm not a fan of starting both games on Fox. I'm a CBS guy. I don't want to watch Fox.
Let's not fret about it. Yes, I got the Colts winners.
All right, next game, we got a conference or division rival, Tennessee Titans, 1 p.m. on CBS.
Yeah, I got a loss here. That whiteout duo scares me, so I say a loss in Nashville.
Okay, we'll follow that up at Miami, CBS, 1 p.m.
Win. Tua gets benched. Jacoby goes in. Kenny Moore, pick 6. Colts win.
Oh, wow. Bold. Love it. All right, I see a sense of a pattern here. Monday Night Football, Baltimore Ravens, 8:15 p.m. at ESPN. Do we get a win or do we get a loss? Baltimore.
Sorry. Do you need one?
You got one.
Oh, never mind. If I'm drinking 4, we got issues. All right, Ravens loss. I just think Baltimore's really good at football, and they had the Colts number in that building second half last year. I got a lot of wins, I think, coming up here shortly.
The Mayflower game, love it.
Yeah, that's Monday Night Football, right?
It is
Ravens?
Monday Night Football, 8:15 ESPN. Jumping to the next week, we get Houston on CBS, 1 p.m. What do you think there?
W.
You think they get the first pick this year? Are they that bad?
They are horrific, yes. Yes, they do.
Following up Sunday Night Football at San Francisco, 8:20 p.m. on NBC.
I got a loss. I know this might surprise some people. I think San Francisco is a team that not a lot of people are talking about. I know the quarterback situation is iffy. I think from offense, defense, they might be the most balanced team in the NFC. I really like them. I think Kyle Shanahan's a pretty good coach. I say loss.
All right, we see a trend here. Loss, win, loss, win. Let's see if we either run off some losses, run off some wins. We're going to start with a win. First, Tennessee on CBS at 1 p.m.
Win, do it again, win. 3 in a row. Easy. Yeah, I got 3 in a row here. Obviously, the Jets game is the Thursday nighter. By the way, great quarterback schedule. For those that care, you're going to see a lot of great quarterbacks, young quarterbacks as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to beat the 2 rookies, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, and I think you split with Tennessee. That's a Halloween Sunday afternoon game, Tennessee game. I got Buffalo a loss. I got Buffalo in the Super Bowl. I got Buffalo, Tampa Bay in the Buffalo, the Rams in the Super Bowl. And circle the wagons, Chris Berman. I got the Bills winning the Super Bowl.
Next week we do play Tampa Bay after Buffalo. You got a win there, and then a win at Houston.
I got a win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who doesn't want to beat Tom Brady? In all seriousness, I believe this will happen. Tampa Bay's got a Monday night game before, short week. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Yes. You know, you worry about Tampa Bay, you know, feeling a little good about themselves, eating too much on the holiday. I got the Colts getting a big win inside of Lucas Oil Stadium.
Tom Brady doesn't eat real food, though.
Nah, you know, Giselle might say, all right, here's some, you know, avocado tequila. I'll throw a few back and see what happens there.
Houston, you got to win.
Yep.
We're obviously going to win the bye week. Next one, to be determined still, New England Patriots. You got to win there, and we love beating the Patriots.
You can't beat the Patriots now. Like, what is it, 7 in a row that you've lost the Patriots? Like, it's got to come back to a rivalry here. So, yeah. So right now, what do we got? We got what, 5 losses?
Yes, 5 losses.
All right.
Here comes the next loss. You think at Arizona, 8:15 on Saturday on Christmas, we're going to lose?
Yeah. Yep, out there on Christmas. Selfishly, I really like Kyler Murray playing football, so I might be biased here, but I say DeAndre Hopkins, a little bit of Rondale Moore as well. Shout out to our Purdue fans in the building. Yeah, I think the Cardinals are going to I think the NFC West is the best division in football. If it was somehow possible, they should get all 4 teams in the playoffs. So the Colts last year, you guys have heard me say this, the easiest schedule in the NFL, that's not going to be the case this year. This is a very difficult schedule compared to what you had last year.
We're going to come home against the Las Vegas Raiders. You have a win there at 1 p.m. on CBS.
W.
And then we close things out with Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville on the road. Go to the pool if you can. It's probably going to be a little cold.
Finally, win in Jacksonville.
We get a win.
Finally.
How about that?
Finally.
How about that?
Right? Shout out, yeah. Let's get, Nelson a little belly flop in the pool after that win. So what's that? That's 11 and 6.
You got 11 and 6.
That's a pretty good record. Talking to some of my colleagues, I hover around 10 and 11. I worry about, obviously, the Wentz situation, injury, close contact. That worries me. But I love the rushing offense. I love the run defense. And what Quitty Pay showed me in the preseason was a little bit more, Chris, than I thought he would give. I still think the pass rush is a question mark. But if that Quitty Pay you saw in August even kind of sniffs it during the season, I think this team goes 11-6. I've got Tennessee winning the division at 12-5.
Okay.
Got to throw that in there. But I see the Colts back in the playoffs.
All right. Any more, before we get to the final Family Feud, any more Twitter questions or local questions?
We got one more Family Feud and then one more grand prize. Is that right?
Grand prize, that's right.
Yeah, Darius Leonard, more of a defensive player of the year favorite than Buckner. Doesn't shock me. You got to make splash plays. Defensive tackles, besides Aaron Donald, people look at them like they're big and fat and don't do anything. Like, I mean, to be frank. So that does not surprise me. Now, frankly, I think Buckner's a better player. I don't know if people will push back on that, but I'd rather have DeForest Buckner than Darius Leonard if we're going to really get into the nitty-gritty of it. But for Vegas, that doesn't surprise me. Wow, that's a deep question. The question was, could Rodrigo Blankenship become the kickoff man over Rigoberto Sanchez? No. Part of me wants to say I don't care, but I know that I know that's a very legit question, I guess. No, I like Sanchez doing it, right? I mean, Sanchez is a weapon. In all seriousness, Rigoberto Sanchez is a weapon.
We've talked about that numerous times.
Yeah, seriously.
The field position that he gives us.
Doolin, George Odom, all of them, dial it up. Jimmy, anything? Yeah, people in the chat worried about the injury report. Let's update them if they missed it. Nelson, no practice with a back. Rhodes, no practice with a calf. I'm watching them. I'm a little nervous. I'll just say that. I want to watch. Quentin Nelson, 3 surgeries in 12 months. Xavier Rhodes, again, he's got a lot of Lance Stevenson to him, but like, if you were going to rank the most important players for the game on Sunday, I don't know if I get past Carson Wentz before I name Xavier Rhodes. Like, that might be the most dynamic passing offense you see all year. Now, some might say Tannehill with Julio and A.J. Brown. Some might say Tom Brady with Godwin and Mike Evans. With what Russell Wilson can do in extending play, like, Russell Wilson does not scramble to scramble. He scrambles to break your heart down the field.
Yeah.
And have you seen a better deep ball thrower than Russell Wilson?
Other than Aaron Rodgers, no.
Okay, yes, Rodgers. Like, Wilson throws a great deep ball. So, who else? There are a few guys limited. I'm not too worried about it from there.
Brendan, you got a question?
Yeah, guys, speaking of injuries, Andrew wants to know, when Sam Ehlinger comes back out 5 to 6 weeks, placed on IR, what kind of role do you think he might pick up?
Great question, Andrew.
Yeah, that's a good question. Ehlinger on IR. I don't think he has a game day role, but I'm a little more open to it than I would have been 5 months ago. I just think Wentz can do some of that. And to get back to the Wentz thing, when I talked earlier about this offense having a higher ceiling, I think the run-pass option part, the RPO part, I think that's an element that just taps this offense into a whole lot more than they could have last year. So I don't think you need Ehlinger in short yardage. I've always said this about Ehlinger. He ran 4.8 in the 40-yard dash coming out. It's not like he's freak athlete. It's more of like, I feel rush, I anticipate it, I know to run. Now he's big in the lower body, so I don't know, maybe in short yardage if Carson's banged up, you involve Ehlinger, but I kind of like having Wentz on the field too in those situations where you're not tipping your hand. I felt like when Jacoby came on the field last year, it was like, all right, 10 in the box. Like, you kind of tipped your hand a little bit there.
Want to jump into the last Family Feud?
All right, the last Family Feud question. Again, $40, Colts Pro Shop. Max on the edge of his seat. Heston's rocking it over here. What do we got?
There are 3 colleges that have each produced 2 players on the Colts. Name 2 of those 3 colleges and the players on those teams.
Can we block out the chat? Can we put that? Can we do that? They're going to give away the answers. All right, 3 colleges. Are you ready to guess?
Heston.
Oh, the chat is away, folks.
Uh-oh, chat's got blacked out.
3 colleges that have produced on the 53-man roster 2 Colts players, right here. I need the players.
Taekwon Lewis and Paris Campbell from Ohio State. Notre Dame, Quentin Nelson
Michael
and Isaac
Pittman
Rochelle.
jersey right here. Can anyone name the other college just to feel good before you go to bed tonight? We got no other prizes. The other college, anybody? It looked like J&V was raising his hand there. I don't know. Wow, you were kind of
Hey,
here.
bartender.
Like, anybody? Ball State? No. I mean, let's be proud of Ball State's program, but let's not be that proud.
Yes.
Michigan and who? Who are the players? Quitty Pay,
and
Jordan
Glasgow. That's correct.
Nice,
yeah.
nice work. This is a dangerous duo right there
Yeah. Got
on
some
the couch.
Colts trivia over
They
there.
got here at noon for those seats.
Did you really?
All right, any final questions before we round things out? Anything? The chat, Jimmy?
Everybody's hyped, ready for week 1.
I love it. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. I know it means a lot to Chris and I. It's something that we've thought. You got something?
We got the winner.
Oh, yeah. I know. I'm going to get there. And we got the raffle prize again. Shout out to Bullseye Event Center. This place is unbelievable. Tailgates here start 3 hours before kickoff. Thank you to Kyle Knapp for having us out here. 3 hours before kickoff. Kyle, is it $75 for a ticket? 85. Free food and drink with that price tag, obviously. You're what? A pitching wedge away from Lucas Oil Stadium. And just an awesome spot. They'll obviously open these up in beautiful weather. You got NFL Red Zone airing out here in the background as well. So Kyle's right over here if you guys want to chat with him before the night's over. We're also giving away 2 lower-level Seattle Seahawks tickets along with the 2 VIP tailgate tickets to every single home game this year. Just me. Hey, Mads, you want to bring up Rosie Bowe? She can draw the ticket.
Come on, Rosie.
We're gonna bring up Rosie Bowe, and she will draw the grand prize ticket here. No, Matt.
No, his daughter.
All right, Rosie. What do you got here?
Come on, Rosie. Sam Sinclair. Stand up, take a bow. Attaboy, Sam.
Thank you again to Bullseye Event Center for that. Again, that is Colts VIP tickets right there. 2 to every home game this year. And also 2 tickets in the lower level. That is section 100-ish. In the 100 level for the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday afternoon. Chris Presley, thank you.
Absolutely, thank you guys.
All of our event staff, thank you. Bullseye Event Center, Brendan King, Jimmy Cook, everybody. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. We really enjoyed it. Hopefully we can do this again soon in person. And let's enjoy Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely, let's get this dub.
Thanks, guys.